Hello, my loves, and welcome back to the Can't Stop Talking podcast. I have the most special guest today. I'm so excited for you guys to meet her. Her name is Stephanie Eastman. Before this, we literally have been talking for the last 20 minutes. I could talk to her forever, but I was like, okay, it's time to finally press record so you guys can get to meet this lovely angel truly. And so, first, can you please tell us about yourself?
Well, my name is Stephanie Eastman. I have been in the coaching industry for probably about 3 months now, but it has been a long time coming, truly,
Yes.
truly a building up to this process. I love incorporating gene keys whenever I help people like awake their inner talents and natural abilities. And I've just been having a freaking blast, and meeting you has been the most fun thing
I
ever.
love it. She actually had me on her page. You guys should go see it. And she did a live where she read my gene keys. And it was, I've never heard of gene keys before you. And
Mhm.
it was creepy accurate. So we're going to talk about that today as well, but there's so much to talk about. So yeah, if you want to tell us first, what is a gene key?
So this is like a deep dive into your human design. Like I always call it astrology on steroids. And it's one of those things that my favorite things that the gene keys highlight is your purpose work, the energy of your career, and how you actually make money, like how you have these ideas, because we all know like ideas are money. So like how you have these
Yes.
ideas that come through whenever you get in this specific energy that are going to make you money and make you blow up in your business.
Absolutely. And like some of the things, and we can go over too, because she said she has them, but some of the things that she told me that really resonated with me. And one of the things I haven't even told you is like, I should be adding in that influencer aspect to my Instagram and to my TikTok and my podcast. And the funny thing about that is like, before you even said that, I was talking to my current coach about I eventually want to get into brand deals with brands that I love because there are brands that I just want to tell you guys about that I'm like obsessed with all the time. And so you said that, and I was like, it's like you're reading my mind. Like
Yeah.
that's exactly what I want to get into.
Mhm.
Yeah. So how do you read these gene keys?
So this is one of those things where you use the time of birth, the date, and where you were born. And it's just like whenever you punch it into human design or your natal chart, but Gene Keys really hasn't been around for that long. The guy that channeled out all of this information, that did all the studying, he actually studied under, I think his name's Ra Uru, that does the human design. He studied
Wow.
underneath him. And so it's literally just like they're kind of married together, but it just goes really specific on different points of your energy on the different planets.
I love that. And so what's your process with working with clients? Because it's so new to me. And I'm so obsessed with this
Mhm.
topic that I just want to know everything I can.
So I really am obsessed with like just how you and I like we're talking about yours, like the archetypal energy, like so with the influencer energy for you, where it's like
Yes.
you can begin to like lock into these things and recognize like as you look back, because even you were a buyer for sex, right?
Yes, yes, I
Yeah,
was.
like you had so many things that were like this influencer like energy. And even whenever I scrolled back through your Instagram from like the very beginning, you were like popping stuff off and just like blowing up from
Yes.
the very beginning. Like they leave clues. The gene keys leave clues.
I
And
love
so
that.
yeah. And so it's so funny how we can look at our gene keys and be like, oh my gosh, I see where there were shades of this in my past, but how can I like literally light this on fire inside of myself, lock it into my mindset that I'm really, really good, like for you, that influence or energy. I am a master at this, and come alive in your creativity and your confidence in your business.
I love that. And something that you also really, what I loved is you were like, what affirmations would make you feel like this influencer type? And one that I came up with that you guys should take if you're listening, but it has changed the way I view myself is like, I am iconic. Like, I am showing up
Mhm.
as the movement. And
Yeah.
that to me, I was like, obsessed. And you're so right. These gene keys just get your mind moving out of the box because
Yeah.
obviously we're coaches, but we don't have to. I always say this to my clients, we don't have to stay in that coach box. Like you can
Yeah.
have brand deals, you can start working with other people.
Mhm.
I did my month of manifesting, which I haven't done in so long, which was different than my business coaching. And so
Mhm.
I think something so cool about these gene keys is it gets you out of your own way. Do you feel the same way about them?
Oh, for sure, 110%. And literally, there is just like this happiness that comes from whenever you tap into all the different aspects of your creativity. So, like you said, where you're not stuck in that box anymore, and you get to design your own career. Like that's how I feel like the gene keys, like what they sparked in me was like, you literally get to make this whatever you want.
That's so beautiful. I love that so much. So tell us, how did you, because I know we've talked before so much, but you did have other businesses. So how'd you go from there to I want to do coaching? Because you're needed in this world. We need you.
Yeah. So it actually started whenever I moved across the country to help my dad with his lavender farm. So that was 4.5 years ago. Did you not know about the lavender farm
I'm
part?
obsessed with lavender farms. I've been to one before and they're just like, you just want to take a nice nap and smell everything.
Oh my gosh, this was a desert lavender farm. So it was a different
Wow.
vibe, but we had 8,000 plants. It was crazy.
This
There's
is
like four of
amazing.
us. There's four of us harvesting like a literal sickle. I would cut every summer. I would cut
It
the
sounds so
lavender.
fun. Actually, like for me in a past life, I feel like I could just like zone out on a lavender farm and like do this. This sounds amazing.
Oh my gosh. You know what? My soul is so glad that I got that experience, but I am more than happy to be a retired farmer right now.
Yes.
It really does kick your ass.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that away from my dreams one day.
Yeah.
That's good. I need to know that.
Word from the wise, it ends up being a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. But truly it was cool and I'm glad that I have it in my roster. But I moved here to help my dad with his farm because he had gone through a second round of cancer. He had always kind of been like estranged in a sense that he lived across the country.
Mm.
And so I had gotten sober the year before from alcohol, and my husband and I were just like looking for a change of pace. And then the opportunity with the lavender opened up, and my dad's like, "Hey, our plants are small, but you could start making products." So I just moved out here and I like barely had ever smelled lavender before, mind you.
Wow. And then you
Mhm.
just started making this is like entrepreneur genes like to a T. And then
Yeah.
you just started making these products.
All summer while we were looking for a house when I lived back in Illinois, I was just studying recipes and like finding things and like combining different ideas while I was selling BMWs. Like I was just like writing all these recipes. So I came out here and I ordered all the stuff. I got us signed up for farmers markets and just went balls to the walls with it.
I'm obsessed with this. So, have you always felt like you had this entrepreneurial side to you, or was this like the first time that you really dug into it?
Oh my gosh, it was the first time I dug into it. And know what's so funny, Sam, is the fact that I didn't even really see myself as an entrepreneur most of the time that I was running that business. I kind of felt like I was just making it work. And
Yeah,
now that I've locked into this like skill set that is like, you are an entrepreneur, like you do incredible things. Now that I've locked that in,
absolutely.
it's a totally different ball game in life. Yeah.
Wow. So then how did you get from the selling the lavender products, which I'm obsessed with, to where you are now?
So truly, I had just felt this nudge. I had gone into like deeply into my psychic medium work for a while, and where I was doing mediumship readings, where it was like the first time I had really set my mind on something and just decided, like I had always felt very attuned to everything.
Wow.
And I just decided to go all in with my mediumship. I developed it very, very quickly. And I realized I was like, whoa, we're actually like more capable of anything that we want to do if we just like set our mind to it and show up and like make the brave moves. So like me showing up to do those readings was like the brave moves that put
Oh,
you in those uncomfortable positions that make you grow. And after that, it was just like an obsession with mindset. And then the gene keys came in right after that. And it was like that thing that was a nudge to help people grow and to turn on their creativity and to get their minds right, really turned into like a shouting inside that was like, you got to make moves now.
Wow. And you said something really special to me off the podcast about how you went from this mediumship to actually deciding not to, you thought you were going to be a medium your whole life. And
Yeah.
so what was that change like for my viewers? I love this story. I was like, had goosebumps.
Oh my gosh. So truly, it was one of those things where I just realized like we we have such a blink of a life. Like life is so short. And it felt like all of the dead people were telling me, and I don't know why it's so funny. Like, I'm like, did they think it's funny to call them dead people, or do I think it's funny? Who's this talking?
Yes.
Because I'm like so sensitive whenever I would like be on calls with people, but
Yes. Yes.
like, but it was like this nudging from the other side of the veil. They're like, you've been putting all of your attention on us, and like you needed to go here to experience it, but like go back to the people that are living, that they need to come alive in their life and their creativity and their voices like never before. So like go back to the living because they need it.
What I like literally have chills. I'm gonna take this clip and make it a reel because people need to hear
Ah,
it.
yeah.
But wow, did you have any other profound things that you heard when you were doing mediumship or anything that you're like that changed? Because that statement right there, that changed how I view life. And there's very few times that I feel that way. That I
Mhm.
have these little nuggets that I like leave in my back pocket that I'm like, that changes my life. And then I talk about it all the time.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Honestly, I I had two of the most profound mediumship readings over the summer where I realized that our intuition is so quick. It's so simple because I actually, whenever I stepped into this mindset work, had to be willing to shed the skin of the way that I experienced my intuition before, which was all about picking up on other people's energy and all about like waiting and then responding. When I decided to truly set the tone and be willing to let go of that other part of my gifts is whenever my intuition started functioning like a supercomputer. And so I realized I had these two awesome readings with my uncles, one from like my mom's side, one from my dad's side, like a month apart from each other, but where messages from the other side came through so sharp and so clear that it was unmistakable and it wasn't overly produced. It wasn't like I had to sit down and summon and do all these things. It just made me realize like we're all connected. It's so quick.
Wow.
Like it's so powerful. And that just like changed the way that I experience my intuition and how I use it in my business and how I see other people's potential so much. Like it's just fast.
I'm like I wish I could see my mouth because it's on the floor. This is resonating so much because I actually am a responder, as you can probably see, but also from my, what is it called? Not the Gene Keys, the other one.
Human design.
Yeah, human design. I'm so funny.
Uh-huh.
I'm like the worst at knowing human design, even though I'm so spiritual. From my human design, I am a responder when it comes to like doing something, but I want to be that way. Do you have tips to get more in tune with your intuition and just like go for
Yeah.
it?
Are you a projector?
I am a generator.
You're a generator? Okay. I for for some reason, whenever I think of the response, I think about the projectors. But I always tell people, I'm like, first and foremost, like you can live and die without human design and gene keys and
Yeah.
astrology and be just a fine individual. And it's funny because like it comes from the people that are considered like the experts and the like the ones
Yes.
that are the know-hows that are like, don't take it so seriously.
Yes. I love
but
that.
but you can use it as inspiration. And truly, I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't even think I was going to go into this
Oh, I'm
today,
so excited.
but I I lived and breathed the spiritual world for so long and it was everything to me. Like I went through the land of the shadows for 3 years, especially after getting sober and like understanding
Wow.
like where I felt like a paleontologist that was digging through all of these bones. And I was like, this came from my dad, and this is from my grandma's side. And now I understand that was from my childhood. But where I have felt the biggest movement and what it felt like the universe was calling me was like, I was sitting in this pile of bones, and it's like the sky opened up, and they're like, Stephanie, all you've got is now and your future. Like, you don't need to keep addressing things from the past and keeping yourself in this endless loop to feel worthy of healing, to feel worthy of these intuitive gifts. You don't need to keep doing that. You get to create from here on out. It's fucking her blank canvas time.
I'm upset. That's actually a theme in my mastermind
Okay.
this week. I said to my clients, it is so powerful, obviously, to get rid of the limiting beliefs and do that work. But what is even more powerful when you get deep into this work is just deciding you're unavailable for
Mhm.
the past. And
Yeah.
this is how things are going to go now. And those are the times that things really happen.
I really, truly, I love that. And I feel like our intuition is meant to be like that supercomputer. It really is. Whenever we take the ball and put it in our own court, like, I just feel like it's one action after another, instead of like putting something out in the world and then waiting for the response and then putting
Yes.
something out. It's like, no, I'm going to keep moving because I'm, I'm a big believer in like, God can't do to you what he can do through you. And so using
Oh.
yourself as this instrument to just like get shit done and just like do what you're meant to do, sparkle where you're meant to sparkle.
I am obsessed with that. And that leads right into right before this, we were talking about how I used to be, and I'll say it, I always bring my audience with me. I used to be the person, because I built this business just working 4 hours a day. And then lately, in the past 5 months, and you share the same like love, I have fell into such a deep love with my business that you can't keep me away. And so, like, I am no longer that person. You can 100% build your business working 4 hours a day. I did it. I know it. But
Mhm.
at this point in my life, it brings me so much joy. How do you think you got to that place with your business? Because you were saying the same thing.
You know, I surrounded myself with Bridget, truly, who I'm working with, Bridget
Yes.
James Bling, and she is just crazy spitfire. So
The best.
it was nice to see somebody actually moving like a mad person and
Yes.
getting like really cool results though. But it's been the like, I fall in love with myself more and more every time that I build more content, every time that I put more out there, every time that I use my voice more. And I know that like everything that I say, whether it reaches one ear, where I guess 2 ears.
I only have one AirPod in right now. So maybe one year.
One ear. That's so funny. Or, 500, 2,000, whatever it is. I know that what I say, every time I say it, is going to make an impact. It's just something I decided a long time ago. But I had to get behind it and believe it for
Yes.
myself. And so you build this up, and you just fall in love with that action and fall in love with speaking your mind and fall in love with your mission. And I'm sure you understand that.
You said it. So I just think I've told you this since the beginning, you have a very amazing way with words and stories. And even the energy I'm feeling through the screen is just like, I feel so calm with you. It's such a crazy feeling. Honestly, I didn't even tell you that before, but like, I just feel calm, like at peace. It's amazing. But the way that you just said, I haven't been able to articulate what creating every piece of content, what showing up more. It's that I thought it was like, I'm so in love with myself, so I'm going to do this. You're right. It's kind of both ways, but it's more of every piece of content makes me know who I am more. It makes me become into this larger than life self and get rid of all those limiting beliefs,
Yeah.
or the ego sheds the ego that says, you can't do this. You'll never have this. You'll never be this bigger than life person. And every piece of action says, I'm so in love with myself that I know exactly where I'm going, and everyone needs to hear this message. That was amazing. Obsessed with that.
I'm so glad that hit with you too, because I even recently heard Alex Hermosi saying something about, like, if you guys don't know who Alex Hermosi is, I've just like come across him in the past 2 months. He's just like this buff multimillionaire that just like tells it how it is.
I love that.
But he talked about, he's like, you can't be self-conscious whenever you have stacked up so much undeniable evidence of like, whether it's you showing up or you working with people or you having past successes. So like, even every single little podcast I do, I'm like, that is another piece of evidence that I'm showing up for me. And when I show up for me, it benefits somebody else.
Wow. And I resonate with that more than you know, because when I started this business, I didn't tell my friends what I was doing for 3 months. They were like, Sam, what are you doing? And the reason that I did that is I, behind the scenes, was building up this Instagram. I was gaining clients. And so in my
Yeah.
head, I was like, I am not going to share what I'm doing till I have, the followers and the client,
Mhm.
just the, and it wasn't about like followers or clients, but it was so that when my friends said, oh, well, how's that going? And tried to put any limiting beliefs on me, I could say, and even though they were so supportive, people just, it's different. I have the best friends in the world. I could say, it's going amazing. I have this community. I have, clients paying me, so that no one could come being like, how is it going to work? What's going to happen?
Mhm.
And so I
Yeah.
really did that, like, success in silence,
Yeah.
in order to then come back and be like, okay, this is all working out beautifully. And so I love that so much.
That's so cool. Oh, this is like a little off topic, but it has to do with what you were just saying. Are you someone that does your manifestations in the quiet, or do you talk about them as you're creating them? Because
So good.
I feel like I'm a straddler.
Okay, so funny. So this is a great question. And this is why I love being in the room with you, because you do ask these great questions. I used to be the type of person who didn't tell anyone what I was manifesting. And I
Yeah.
used to be very quiet about it, but more like, watch this. And now I have actually learned that speaking things into existence with, and this is important, with a human who believes in you. So
Mhm.
I have my friends that I trust my community. I'll tell them when I'm manifesting. I have my friends that I'll go on manifesting walks with who believe in me. And why? Because their
Mhm.
belief in me and my manifestation is what's going to make it come to life. And so
Mhm.
I'm very careful about who I tell, but I'm now very open because I found that speaking into existence
Mhm.
actually works, like, out loud.
Yeah.
And so it just depends. I'm either driving, saying my affirmations, saying what I'm gonna like bring to the world, or if there's someone that I really trust, or I'm in my like month of manifesting, I will tell them exactly what I'm bringing into the world, because I know that energy is like positive and
Yeah.
backing it.
Yeah. God, that's amazing. I'm always curious what other people's opinion is of that, because you and I both read all of these books, and sometimes they say one thing, sometimes they say the other. And so for me, it's just this feeling in my body. Like if I share something like that's going to help other people to understand how they can manifest themselves,
Yes.
and I'll share that. But there's been other times where I've literally started to say something and I'm like, "Huh, I actually don't want to pull that seed out of the ground right now."
And that could be you being like, I don't know if this person will make it
Mhm.
even. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. But I always love this topic because I'm like, there is so many ways to do anything. There's so many ways to manifest. There's so many ways to run your business. There's so many ways to diet and exercise. And I talk about my journey with, I finally figured out how to do everything when I changed my diet to intuitive eating,
Yeah.
because I started listening to my body. And so this goes perfect
Mhm.
with this episode. And once I started listening to my body and I dropped 20 pounds and I realized my body knows what I need, I
Mhm.
started intuitively doing my business. What do I want to do? And then intuitively with manifesting, I always say, whoever says it has to be this way as a manifestation coach, run, because
Mhm.
it should really be what lights you up the most with
Yeah.
anything in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I love that.
I also wanted to ask you, how big is mindset in your business? I always say for me, it's like the biggest part, and then strategy obviously is important and needed, but you need that mindset down first.
I'm going to be so honest
Yes, be honest.
in the fact that like there is, for years I went through everything with like, I would address my emotions first.
Mm,
And I'm so in love with mindset. Like I literally, instead of doing it that way through my emotions, I'm like, actually, my brain is the one that's sparking the emotions. Like my brain,
yes,
I literally just feel like I'm floating around this world and it's me in my brain in the universal energy and
yes.
everything else just forms around it.
I'm obsessed.
Truly.
Because I feel like you've bypassed, and me too, I've bypassed like having to sit there. I feel like a lot of people, when they first come to coaching, it's like, I have to sit there and journal all this stuff out, which is amazing. You need to, but there is just a way, like we said, decide and then take the action. And that's actually mindset as well, I feel.
Yes, it's so powerful. I I talk about two types of action whenever I'm like talking to people about manifesting. And the first one I call like the stars. And so if you think about a star, it's like that comes up every single night. Like the stars, no matter if you're in a tent or in your house, like the stars are going to show up every night. So, like when you take that action to show up for your dream and what you're creating every single day, it's like the staying power. And it's like that belief of like building this in yourself. And even when you hear a lot of like stars, like celebrities talking about how they manifested their dreams, it was like that staying power.
Yes.
Yeah. And the other side of this mindset, whenever we get that mindset right and we take the action, I feel like it's like a lightning bolt, like a terror barrier that we have to jump through, that it's like something scary. So it's like adding those two types of action together, like the investing in the business coach, the traveling around the world, the standing up on the stage and speaking. So like whenever we take those two types of action with our big, beautiful, squishy brains and our mindset, it's just like you're unstoppable.
That is so beautiful. Me and my friend were actually watching, and I want to get back to something that you just said, but me and my friend were actually watching this Kanye documentary, which is so funny because now Kanye. But anyways, I was like, oh my God, he's literally talking about all the time how he knows he's
Yeah.
going to be the famous person. I always use celebrities because they're the 1% of the world, and it's so
Yeah.
many of them use manifestation. And
Uh-huh.
she goes, he needs that delusional, like, I am absolutely going to be here, or
Yep.
else he wouldn't make it. And I was like, that's it.
110%. I fully believe that that guy is a genius in his own weird ways, shape, and forms. But truly, it's the same. I had heard 50 Cent talking like on an Instagram reel the other day, and he's like, everyone else probably thinks that I'm super arrogant, but I had to be this way
Wow.
to get to this point. I had to do this for myself so I could make it to this level of success.
I have chills because it's just so true. Because when those bumps come up,
Mhm.
me and my clients always talk about all the time the long game. Okay,
Mhm.
but does this matter in the long run? We're going to be here forever. Does it matter that your reel didn't go viral? No, another
Mhm.
one will. Yada yada yada. Love this story about. I'm currently in a certification in Yes Supply for NLP, and they said that one of the other girls in the certification, she was posting for like I don't know if it's like 2 or 3 years. She had 3,000 followers. She was
Uh-huh.
posting reels all the time. One day, one of the reels just went absolutely millions of likes, and she
Uh-huh.
gained over 100,000 followers in no
I
time. And it's like that right there. There's quantum leaping, and there's sticking to something, and there's no such thing as success overnight.
Yeah, for sure. Because the people that have a $50,000 month, they've been building, they've been
Yes.
working. That wasn't just that 1 month for most of the time. I mean, I know that
Yes.
there's some people that just like come back in, they're like, bam, look at me. But for a lot of people, it really is that building up that creates so much incredible success. And we got to remember that even when we're not seeing the results around us, I always call it like the gears are in motion behind your
Yeah.
head. Like the universe is always making it work for you as long as you're putting in that effort, you're always going to reap what you sow.
Oh, I love that. And the last thing I wanted to end on is you talked about that lightning bolt with investing, and you told me such a cool investing story. Would you share it here?
Yes, for sure. So for me, and it's so funny because I do one-to-one mentorship with Bridget Jamesling, and she had me on her channel the other day. And we were doing a little interview, and some of the people were like, hey, did you join like the Freedom Queen Live, which is like her mini mind, like a smaller program? They're like, hey, were you in like the Make Money membership? Was it like her $50
Yeah.
membership? And I was like, I'm unconventional in the fact that I literally surrendered finally, I knew I wanted a business coach. I didn't know where the money was coming from. I just knew with everything inside of me that I had to surrender. I was reading Think and Grow Rich, and finally
Yes.
it clicked for me. The idea of a mastermind, it clicked for me. I was like, all right, I want this person to be my friend. I want them to be inspiring. And her Instagram came up like 2 days later. And then I invested in her for private coaching 2 days after that. I had spent the 2 days in between pretending like she was my coach. And then
Yes.
just went balls deep into a $15,000 commitment that I was doing
Obsessed.
over payment plans. But everything inside of me said, move like this, even though I hadn't even sold my other business yet with the all natural products. I had no idea that I was going to sell my business whenever I did that at the end of October. And I ended up signing papers December 29th for $15,000 for the sale of my company. Had
I have
no clue
chills.
that was going to happen. Had no effing clue. I thought I was going to retire my business and just let it be quiet. And yeah, I thought I was just going to let it be. And I had to start seeing myself as that entrepreneur, like we were talking about in the beginning, that, hey, you've built this up for 4.5 years. You need to sell this. You need to let somebody else experience this and grow with it. But I became the return on investment person within
Absolutely.
8 weeks because I just believed it.
I'm upset. And that's just like for anyone who wants to invest in themselves, like this is the reason. I am so happy you came on this podcast. You are literally a light. Like I feel like you're just an angel sent from above. Your aura is incredible. I wish you guys have to go to her page. Just feel what I feel. I know you're going to do huge things and change this industry. And I'm just so glad that we connected. Like I know the universe brought us together. I'll be here for you whenever you need. And before you go, you have to tell everyone how to reach you if you're working on anything, how to work with you, because they need to know more about you.
Oh my gosh, Sam, that was all so crazy nice. You guys, she is the best. Truly, truly. I love watching everything she puts out. I love just sitting here and chatting with her because like you're a light as well. Yeah, I know that you
Love
know that.
you.
I told her whenever we first started talking, I was like, you remind me of a human daisy. Like
Oh,
you're just like this happy, special wildflower. Like that's really what it is. And
love you so
so
much.
I've seen the way that you work with your clients and all of the stuff, and it's really special to see. But you can find me on Instagram at Hey Stephanie Eastman. And I'm also on TikTok. And just like Sam said earlier, we're madly in love with our work. So I'm pumping out content
She is. I love her TikTok so
nonstop.
much.
So if you need that like boost, that like, oh, I got the power, you just go find me on there. I do gene key readings with people where it's like, you get all of this information and then you can go run with it. We have 1 day of Voxer where you can integrate it. Or for the people that are ready to grow in a massive way, I have my private one-to-one coaching where we integrate those gene keys, the human design, and just turn up your creativity and confidence.
Oh my God. It would like literally, you guys run to her offers because the way when she read my gene keys, the ideas, the money making, it's no joke. Like it's so legit. You are just unbelievable. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And I just can't wait. She's going to come visit me sometime in San Diego soon.
I
So
know. I thought I was coming today. I was
I
like,
know.
option.
I
Thank
love
you
it.
so much for having me. This is so fun.
You are the best. Bye, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Bye.